Hi, YouTube. I hope you're fine. I'm doing okay. I'm going to talk to you while I roll a couple cigarettes. And, well, I've got one. I'll smoke it and have a cup of coffee and coffee break time. Cheers. I'm going to share a link to the Monograph channel. He made a new website called TOYS, Toys. It's a new political party. Some people are calling it to be international, like they could use it in their countries. I think it's a good format. It's tired of your. That's the new political party. So um, some people think it won't go very far, and there's T-shirts and coffee cups and different things for it, but I think it's going to go somewhere because if we don't try these things, and that is my topic today is I think tomorrow, either this Tuesday or next Tuesday is the State of a Union address for the United States, the commander in chief speaking to the people about their performance, whatever that entails or doesn't, you know, that's going to be an interesting thing to hear what they've got to say for themselves, which will be nothing because they don't care, you know. Can you imagine talking to those narcissists in private versus, I mean, if they're that horrible in public, can you imagine what they're like behind closed doors? Whoa. I couldn't even fathom it. Well, I could. That kind of is what this entails is it's not even, see, it is evil, but they come off with a childlike attitude in true narcissist fast fashion, almost like so are you, but what am I? You know what I mean? Like if you say, well, that was kind of not cool. So are you, but what am I? That's as much sense as they really make. I'm not even exaggerating one little bit on this. The immaturity that they choose to use as a weapon towards other people. It's childlike on such a dark, evil scale. It's not even funny. You know, the difference is children can act like that and you forgive them and they grow out of it and you teach them how to work through that. But these people did know, they know it. If they didn't know how to behave and how to act, you would have never got with them if you're with somebody like that. If they had done that day one, you would have been out of there. You know, you know it. I'm the same way. It's like, no way, no way, you know? So hopefully they're not dragging you down far enough where it happens like me. Well, see, if I had had great medical help like I should have had, I would have been on Social Security right now, disability, but I don't have the doctors behind me that I need. I have all the paperwork, and they should have stood up for me, but they never have, you know. Because, like I ask people, um, how many have severe allergies to just about everything that in their environment? I mean, everything, you know. Well, I think more people are. But it is difficult. If you're allergic to metal and you have to work with coins, if you're allergic to paper and you have to touch it every day, no matter what you do, plastics, whatever, in your environment, it makes it difficult and painful, you know? So all your senses are affected when you're infected, if you know what I'm saying. It really does drag you down and make you sick to have environmental allergies, you know, everything. I'm allergic to wood. I'm allergic to paper products. I'm allergic to plastic. You know, I could go on, but it's true, you know, and I do suffer. Like right now, I feel swollen, like right here. Um, I don't know from what. I don't know. Could have been washing my face because I'm allergic to a lot of things. And some days things, I try to switch up different soaps or whatever I use or lotions. And I even try not to use any kind of lotions because I'm like, I can't, you know. Even there was a special shampoo I was getting that was made from the Mayo Clinic had made it, and it's garbage for the price that they wanted for it. It didn't do benefit me any more than anything I could buy over the counter, and that's pretty sad, you know. I'm still careful of the ones I do get, but I'm not always able to do that, you know. But really, for me, the biggest thing health wise is being around somebody that is sane versus insane. And even if it's self inflicted things that they choose to say and do, it's still insane and it's still their choice, you know. That goes with these public officials too. This is their choice on what they're deciding to do to everybody. You know, it isn't by accident that funds are being used for. Um, Zelensky said, hey, if you want to stand behind him, you can come and help him fight his war. What do you think about that? But yet we have people in tent cities and we're helping another country. So I want to see what Mr. Joe's got to say about that, Biden. And I don't care who they call themselves, president or king or whoever, playing God with everybody, you know? Yeah, I know. I can just imagine if I started watching that thing with any hopes that anything would resemble sanity, I would be sorely disappointed, you know. But that's not going to happen. It's just like this narcissist I'm around. I'm never getting close enough to say that this is any kind of love affair. Not even close will I be that stupid again. You know, I've told him that and I remind him that too. That's no, he'll say, I love you. Yeah. I only love him as much as I can. And that's not as much as I'd like to. And I'm never going to see it that it's going to be anything else than what it is. And that's barely even a friendship. It's not a friendship. I mean, I don't like him. I don't trust him. Um, he's not my type of person, I guess, and I didn't know that at first at all. You know, he was pretty slick. It's like I told him last night. Our one room is a real pigsty after our ceiling fell in because of the water damage, and we had that repaired. But there's a hole in the floor that I put a board over, several of them actually, and other things that I don't have any cupboards for or anything. And, you know, so it's hard for me to find places to put stuff, and there's stuff all over, and he's in there. This is a pigsty. I said, it's the same thing you said to me about your ex after you ran her down and stole her energy and called her a pig. I said, why don't you help me clean it? Why don't, and I did try to take some things out of there last week and stuff and organize it. That's why I snapped about them just taking a bag and leaving them. Pill bottles are still sitting there. The one with the bag where he had to take them out of a bag instead of walking 5 more feet to get a bag. That's why I snapped on that, because like I told him, I have credits I have to get 12 more to be able to retire. And if I had used my energy on myself instead of putting it towards this business around here, I would have been retired a long time ago. So, and I can still even just pay into it and or whatever, or maybe even try and get disability or whatever I can, whatever, what I know God's going to help me. That's not the point. But, or otherwise, a year and a half of hard labor, hard more. But I did quit answering the phone around here for business and taking messages, and I'd go out in the shop and help and never got nothing for it. I mean, okay, I can't say never. There's a couple times, but I have never gotten um, any benefit besides feeling like this isn't even my place and I didn't work to even. And although without me working when I first met him, he couldn't even afford to make the house payment, the mortgage. I helped him with that and fed him for many, many years. He would have lost it. And vehicles that we bought together, and well, I mean, obviously, if I have enough points to almost retire, then the years that I wasted around here going to business school to help our business and teaching them how to use a computer, and I could go on and on. All my efforts are for naught, and I'm a little pissed about it. So then I end up getting sick and not being able to help myself. And if you know what it's like to be sick around a narcissist, you don't get the help you need. In fact, it's more damaging to your energy than it is any giving thing. It's not a giving thing, you know. So, yeah, I'm just talking about what's going on in my day. It's not very pleasant, but I just, got to do whatever I can to survive and whatever I've got to do. But if I have to walk out of here, he's going to pay me for it. I'm not. He told me last night. He said something about his ice cream bars he bought, if I'd like some of them. And I said, oh, the ones you bought with your hard-earned EBT card? I said, I can go in town right now and get a place and get an EBT card and shop for myself. And he's like, well, why don't you do it? And I said, because I'm not leaving my place. That's why. I said, although I do want to leave, I'm not just going to walk out the door. I said, but if I could leave here right this second, I would do that. So, anyway, and then it's always something like that, because he had to go in and put a fuse in this one closet where the fuse box is. And I had some stuff for gardening on the floor, and he's like kicking it. And I don't have cupboards to put it in or a counter or anything. I have no choice. It's like, but was trying to get like either throw things away or get them outside. I'm doing as much as I can. So wish me luck. Anyway, enough of the boo-hoos. Anyhow, so then he asked me today, do I need anything from town? And I said, I don't think so. Whatever. He's stuck again. His friend came over and helped him get out, and then AAA is going to pay for it. But and the only time, or we did get declined by about 3 people that night. The other night, one of them was from that jerk that almost ran into our shop, but the other 2, they were closing. And Doug's like, well, it's supposed to be 24-hour service, so send one out of the cities. And they did call back, but by then he did find somebody. But now I see he took the Mustang and went to drive around by where his truck was. Sometimes he'll flatten the driveway with a car, but I wouldn't have went down that same spot, and he's stuck again. So I don't know. I have no clue. And sometimes I think some of these things are almost like not very well thought out, I guess is the nicest way I can say it. It is slippery out there, though. Yeah. Well, so yeah, I have of course, I'd like to make some money out here on YouTube if I could, because actually my life is very physically challenging every day. And I don't have anybody in the medical community that'll take all my things that have happened to me and is ongoing in chronic sinusitis and osteoarthritis and put it all together with everything and think, God dang, that must really hurt. It must be hard for you to do things. And I'd be like, well, yeah, it actually is. But caffeine and cigarettes and a little herb does help. And that's the God's honest truth. So, but it does. There's times I'll wake up in the middle of the night just to have a cigarette. Not always, but it depends. If I'm laying there in pain, then I'll have a cigarette and it helps. So, or I'll take an aspirin, but I try not to, because that thins your blood. If anything happens, then you don't want to end up hemorrhaging or brain aneurysm or God knows. So yeah. People can be so fucking cruel though. The shit they say and do, and it's just mindless and you know when you think you're picking the nice one. Yeah. See, when you get out of a relationship and it's really brutal, I mean, like horrifically brutal, and then you find somebody that's a little quieter and maybe you're more like evenly yoked, you're thinking, and then you find out that they'd love to be just as brutal as where you left, only they won't because legally they would get in trouble, and that is the only reason they won't do it. That's kind of a hard pill to swallow, you know. But to face the fact of the situation that some people just don't care. I mean, they can pretend, but when it comes right down to when you need somebody by your side, not even to validate anything you're saying or, but just by your side in your corner, you know? Like if you're going to get a new job or if you're venturing out to school or what, somebody that'll give you that time that you need to study or um, put something on the table to eat for you if you're tired and you come home, or the little things people do out of love, not just once in a while when they're love bombing you, when you're sick of their shit and they're trying to keep you around because, you know, till they find somebody better, you know. They talk about the discard phase. There's no discard phase. These people have discarded themselves. They discarded you before they even met you because there's nobody good enough for them in their mind, and everybody is fuel for their needs, you know. Nobody, children aren't safe. Nobody is, you know. Even other adults aren't safe. Out in public, I worry about strangers, what's going to be said and done to them, whether they get their fix um, being rude to some checkout. That's a major one that I've noticed in my case, that if he can't get his narcissistic supply from me, he'll go to town and then he wants to tell me about what happened in town, and I'll walk away and he's like, "You don't want to hear it?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want to hear it out of you." Because I know what he does. It takes rude to another level, you know. I'm not kidding. And his favorite place, I think, to go is Walmart service counter. So he can just have a good day terrorizing people. I've seen it. I won't participate. I won't even go along and watch it anymore. But it's true, you know. I thought about putting on, I might have to put an ad in the paper and like maybe somebody needs a live-in caregiver where I won't lose my place, but I can actually go and work for somebody else that's going to. I mean, even if Doug appreciated me and there was some work I could do, and I've tried out of here and he won't let me. I've tried different things in my life to make my world go around. And you wouldn't believe the amount of times I've been sabotaged with this thing, you know. I'm not just saying this. I'm telling you the truth. I had the best job in town, in our town. The best job you could get working for Pomida department store. I mean, it was the best paying and the most, one of the most prestigious. Besides maybe being a doctor or a lawyer, I'm talking about a laborer. But what does he do? Come outside where I'm working. And it wasn't even time for me to get off work yet. And he was in the parking lot revving his engine. Shit like that. And I mean, it's a city, but it's a small enough town where people actually know you, like your neighbors and, you know, other parents and, you know. So yeah, it's so uncool. I mean, there's other incidences too, but that one really bothered me. But times I've worked out of the house has made it impossible for me to function and take care of the house. And now it's gotten where it's hard for me to even take care of the house and function and put up with this shit at the same time. It's like a pre-planned thing. It's like I'm in a cage and I can't get out of it right now, you know. So I'm trying to figure a way, but I don't see why I should have to give up everything I did work for, and I'm not going to, you know. I'm sure something will work out, but Jesus, criminy. Oh, yeah. So I'm a little tired because whenever that nonsense occurs, it's not just one thing. I mean, there was so many things last night. It's like, man, is this really real? This shit can't be real, but it's real. All too real. Wow. But when you're around somebody that's off kilter on purpose, because like I say, they can function out in society, and when they first meet people, they're on their best behavior. Even if they're a little quirky or, something's a little bit odd, but they can blend in, you know. It's when you're behind closed doors. Just like I say with this president of ours, I'd like to get him one on one in a room talking to him and see what he sounds like person to person, not on a television screen. So it's sad. I have to admit, it is sad. I don't cry anymore like I used to about it, but it's not just Doug, it's the amount of people, and that's where I was going with too. When you're raised around that type of thing, whether it's your mother, your father, or both of them, um, each doing their own part for the dark ball, either knowingly or unknowingly. And if you're really close to the Christ spirit, it was all intentional. Every bit of what they did was pre-planned by Satan himself, and they followed through with it. And there's certain ones they'll set in place, and if one fails, the other one will step up and try their shot. And that's how they work. All just to bring you down. If they can't bring you down, they're going to try and find somebody else who can. You know? So, yeah, it does weigh on a person. You know. And actually, when it gets to be like a physical thing, because really your heart can only get hurt so much, where it physically cannot mend, it's physically scarred, in your life is definitely in jeopardy because of the physicalness of emotions that human beings have. you know so yeah. Well, everybody, regardless of how emotional I am today, and yes, I am, um, I'm still happy inside, and I want you to know that. It may not seem like it, but I am. It's just crazy. I live in Crazyville, totally. So okay, I'm gonna get this uploaded because it's starting to sleet and rain out there right now. I just heard it hitting the window. So yeah, I don't know if it's gonna snow or what it's gonna do, but it might cover the satellite dish. So I'm gonna get this uploaded, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I'm gonna leave a link for that monograph channel. He also has on his website a list of all the public officials in the United States with their phone numbers and addresses to get a hold of them. So if you want to communicate with your state representative or governor or whoever the case may be, he's got state by state alphabetized everything you need to contact these people. So I'm going to leave his link along with his TOYS party. And I'll leave you on that note. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. I love y'all.